Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Wow, I actually had to think about that for a minute. So, yeah, I was supposed to be going to MEPS today, but MEPS had other plans because they had to look at some of my medical history and they wanted to kind of dig into it before they decided to let me in, as far as processing. So, at this point, that means that they need additional paperwork. Now, first, I'm going to get to the review in a second. But first, well, I wasn't exactly feeling too good today. So I'm having a runny nose. I'm not like sick or anything like that, but I'm having a runny nose. And knowing MEPS will sit there and take a runny nose or whatever, or me coughing to like, you have COVID-19 or whatever. So I'm like, in a way, it's kind of a good thing that I'm not actually going today because, well, I don't really feel too well. Not terrible, but it's like I just want to chop off my damn nose. Let's put it that way. So I'm probably going to be blowing my nose a lot. I apologize. But on the plus side, the one thing that was actually holding me back as far as MEPS is concerned, well, let's put it this way. They took care of that. So that's the one bright spot to this whole thing. So yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see. Just wait and see what happens. But yeah, in a good way, I'm kind of glad I'm not going to MEPS because I woke up saying like, man, I'm not feeling good. So it's kind of a good bad thing. That's how I'm trying to see it. Anyway, let's get to days because I really figured out why I don't like Sammy. Because Sammy reminds me of a Karen. And I think at this point, we should all know what a Karen is and why the world, well, can probably do a lot better without them and why the world really hates them so much. So, yeah, I kind of figured, I was like, there's characters that I don't like because they annoy me. Like Lucy, Nina, she just, whatever. But Sammy is just an entirely different, thing. So yeah, I just kind of came to that that realized thing yesterday. I was like, why do I not like her so much? So anyway, let's start with Xander and Phyllis, or Phil. I'm just gonna call him Phil at this point. But let's start with them because honestly, to tell you the truth, they were in that office acting like a bunch of children. Like, oh my goodness, they were just fighting and catfighting. And here's the thing, I've gotten on Xander a couple of times because I feel like he's just inept when it comes towards, like, certain things that should be common sense, like, the things that he said about Sarah that I'm not going to sit there and repeat. But Phil is just like, oh my goodness, this guy is just like the definition of a putz, He's all like, well, I went to school, and I went to this family school, and, my daddy, like, I'm his last heir. And I'm like, I really wasn't that much of a fan of Xander, but, like, compared to him, Jesus Christ. Anyway, they go back and forth. And, there's this one funny scene where, I guess Phyllis is sitting down. Yeah, Phyllis, I think. Phyllis? Whatever his name is. Phil is sitting down in a chair. And Xander comes in. He's like, alright, you know what? Listen. He just rolls him on out the office. And I'm not gonna lie. I laughed my ass off. I thought that shit was hilarious. Sorry for the cursing. Man, I really feel like crap. So anyway, they go back and forth, and Phyllis pretty much gets rolled out the office, and then he meets, Jane or Janice, or whatever her name is, because Janice is upstairs. Well, meanwhile, like, I guess before, Jan or Jane or whatever her name is sitting there talking to Claire, and they're doing their whole bonding thing, and I'm not gonna lie, Claire kind of annoyed me a little bit. I don't know what it was. I think it was just the fact that they just still are trying to carry on this whole, Sierra is dead, and I'm like, whatever. And then she starts crying, and I don't know why, but that just irritated the hell out of me. First of all, because it was like really bad fake crying. And, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really feeling too well. And when you're not feeling too well, things that would normally not annoy you really kind of annoy me. So, I was just like, oh my god, I think I might need to fast forward past this part. So anyway, she's all fake crying and everything, and no tears are coming out of her face. I'm like, okay, sweetheart, sure, you do you. And then Bella comes in, and Bella's all like, get away from my daughter, and she starts telling all her transgressions, blowing up like places and all sorts of things. And of course Jan tries to use the whole, well, I had a mental illness and now I'm a lot better, and just to sit there and try to get Claire on her side, which wound up working, because when she left or got thrown out, Claire started arguing with Bella. They went back and forth, and she was all like, oh, you're just saying crazy, and it's like she literally took her side just because they both shared, like, I don't know, the same, like, bed or whatever, like, in a mental place. So, I know it's not a mental place. I know people really do have problems as far as mental illness, but I think it also kind of irks me that she's trying to use that as some sort of excuse, and it's like it's a real issue, but whatever. So anyway, they go back and forth, and then now Claire's all upset, and then she storms off, and I'm just like, alright, whatever. And I don't think I really saw her for the rest of that episode. And, let's talk about Nicole and Lucas. I didn't even look at my notes for a second. Let's talk about those two, because I feel like Lucas needs to grow a spine. He needs to really grow a spine. I think Nicole is becoming a little too attached to a child that's not hers. Because she comes in, she's all like, oh, I want to spend time with him. And Lucas is like, oh, I don't think that's a good idea, because, Sammy could be anywhere. I'm like, bro, seriously, you really need to grow up here. You are kind of annoying me, I'm not going to lie. I'm also sitting there thinking, how did you actually want to go out with this woman? On what planet did anyone think, you know what, this is the type of woman that I want to spend my life with? Like, I get that she looks pretty, but, like, looks only go so far, bro. Anyway, Nicole is being, like, super obsessed about this child that isn't hers, and I'm like, you have a child. And she's all like, oh, well, the court granted me access, and blah, 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 and, I want to spend time. And so they, they talk for a little bit. And, of course, Sammy comes back after getting yelled at by John. And, you know what? Let me just try to put my feelings aside for Karen / Sammy. And, Karen... Wow. Sammy went to the hospital to visit John. And... brung him a cactus for some odd reason, because I don't know why. John was just like, I'm not having it. He went off on her. Like, he took that cactus and just threw it against the wall, and just called her names that, like, even though she deserved it, John, at this point, is just not in his right state of mind. Not in his right state of mind at all. So he just berates her. She storms out. Marlene, oh God. It's like I can't go 5 minutes without blowing my nose. This is... Oh my God. Where was I? So Marlena walks in the hospital or whatever after kicking Sammy out, and just talk about how I don't believe that he said the things that he said. And then talks to John, and it's like, yep, everything that she said I said is 100% true. I said it, and I meant it, and I don't know why. So, Marlene is in there trying to talk or whatever, and trying to, I don't know, talk to him, and then John just, like, explodes on her, and that's when I was like, alright, I get Sammy because Sammy could just get under anyone's skin on their best day. But that's when I was like, yeah, there's something going on. So I guess we'll find out. I feel like I don't want to unpause it for a second. There's this outside thing where they're outside. You have Phyllis, I guess, getting coffee or whatever, just being the pompous smug that he is. And he runs into Jane. He pretty much manhandles her. And pretty much says, listen, if you go towards Bella, Claire, or anybody, I'm pretty much going to end you myself. And then Xander comes in and, you know, Xander talks to Jane. And I knew right then and there, I was like, you know what? The fact that this woman is getting under his skin so much, he pretty much is going to try to make her an ally. That's pretty much the short version of it. And last thing that I want to talk about is, of course, unfortunately, Sammy. That's like, yeah, I'm gonna take the child, and I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna go out the country to Rome. And right as she was sitting there booking the plane tickets and everything, that's when Allie walked back in, and sitting there talking about, no, that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna allow it. And I just, I'm partly okay. This is going to sound kind of, I'm going to be honest, kind of dickish. But I'm going to say it anyway. I feel like Allie at this point is like, if you're so concerned about where this baby's going to be at, this, that, and the third, then you wouldn't have ran off in the first place. But now you want to sit there and come back and be all like super protective about a child that you felt that you couldn't handle at the time, which is fine, but now you're all like, oh, well, you're not going to sit there and take this baby anyway. Okay, yeah, sure, that somehow makes sense. I mean, I get it. I understand that she wants the best for her child, even if she's not ready to be a mother, and I totally understand that. But, I don't know, just the way that she came back after just running away is like, if you really had that much of a best interest for that child, you wouldn't have left in the first place. Even if she didn't and she wasn't even ready to be a mother, still, she could have made sure that that child was okay before she just ran off somewhere because, well, I'm going to be honest, I don't even know because I wasn't watching at the time. Anyway, yeah, that's actually going to do it for this review. Thank you for watching. I know that I'm just a mess right now because I can hear it in my voice. And, yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the positive vibes. Yeah, so tomorrow is not going to be a new episode of that, so I'll just be watching GH. And, yeah. I don't know, I'm kind of happy to find out why I don't like Sammy. I mean, I know it's just because of the obvious, but she just comes across as a damn Karen to me. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. So, thank you for watching. Be safe. I hope everyone's having a great day. And,